Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here. Really quick, before you listen to this episode, I'm just letting you know right now, whether you're watching or you're listening, you're going to notice that the audio sounds wonky. It's going to sound like you're listening on the AM radio. For a lot of you, you might actually enjoy that because of the kind of crazy times we're going through. It's kind of suitable, to tell you the truth, with the content that I'm putting out in this video. But I apologize if it drives you crazy. The only reason that this audio might sound okay right now is because I've got some wires taped. We had a major hardware failure between our audio interface and our mixer and all that stuff. So thank you again for all the donations. Just letting you know, www.americanreveille.com. You can donate there. But thank you so much for everybody that's donated, because you're about to save our butts again. So again, I know this episode's going to sound a little wonky. I hope that you please get through it. I know it's going to suck with the sound being a little weird, but please try to get through it, because it's very, very important. You know this information. All right. It's very important that you know this information for not only what's going on, but whenever we have a social media blackout and we need lines of communication. So this is very important. Please pay close attention, and thank you so much for understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, and for those who are not aware, are not part of the technological web of digital soldiers here, ladies and gentlemen, Big Tech launched an attack against 75 million Americans yesterday and into today. Folks, Google took Parler off their app store. Then Apple took Parler off their app store, ladies and gentlemen. And then what happened? Amazon, who hosts their servers, they pulled them. Basically, big tech monopolies making a conscious decision to try and destroy another company and silence 75 million Americans, all cheered on by Joe Biden and the rest of the crooks. So where does this go? Where does this lead? Where do we run to? Well, here at the American Reveille, we're starting what we'd like to call Operation Underground Railroad. Folks, the left likes to redefine things all the time. Well, we're not redefining anything. We're letting everybody know that it's now our time to be oppressed, because apparently that's what's happening. So since we're oppressed, we need to establish an underground line of communication via email. All right, we're going to discuss that as well in here, and some of the other ideas I have, and how we're going to go forward and where it might take us to. Folks, this is a very important segment. All right, we're doing it off the cuff. There's no scripting, no writing. This is 0 hour. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, and what an interesting, scary, exhilarating, yet terrifying time to be alive. Folks, we are living through history. Now, there's a lot of rumors going in many different directions. I hear stuff about the Italy thing. I hear stuff about the blackouts. I hear all these different things, but folks, until we have real-time evidence, until it's on the news, I can't start reporting that stuff. I hope you respect my ethics. But make no mistake, something is happening. And what we are seeing happening in real time is a tyrannical takeover of government and a stripping of not only rights, not only basic rights, but dignity and respect for anybody on the right. We're talking 75, 80, 85. Listen, it could be 100 million people. There's a lot of folks that don't answer surveys and don't vote, that support our movement, that support our ideology. We're being silenced, a modern-day cleansing. And if we stand up to this, where does that lead? What does that make the left? What do they become? I hope you understand why I've got a little more energy than normal, because I am sounding all the alarms. I am lighting off all the flares. All the sirens are going off This is your final warning, ladies and gentlemen. The crackdown is here. I am in awe, ladies and gentlemen, absolute awe, from a strategical perspective and a tactical perspective, at just how swiftly, how quickly, how fast they were able to clench this, how fast they were able to capitalize on an infiltrated attack on the Capitol building, which I condemn. I condemn that attack. And yes, I've also heard the rumors of Navy SEALs or whoever going in there and getting laptops and this and that. Again, until the president is saying it, I can't report it. All right? I'm not discounting it. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm telling you that I'm not a mind reader, and until I have more credible information, I can't do anything about it. Did I see the video of the gentleman in Italy? Yes, I did. Did I see the paperwork that went with it? Yes, I did. That's a sworn affidavit, just like the sworn affidavits for the voter fraud, all right? It doesn't prove that that's real or that's anything else, but at the same time, it doesn't mean it's fake. All right. Like I've said before, I like how Steve Bannon says it. There's no conspiracies, but there's also no coincidences. I like how that sounds. It makes a lot of sense, and it's very, very true. But we're in a very tumultuous time right now, folks, a very tumultuous time. And we have to communicate. So multiple times during this, well, probably this is going to be like a somewhat short 30, 40-minute one, but I'm going to let you know about the mailing list. I want you to go to www.americanreveille.com. Now, this is all changing. We're updating the website as we speak. As you can imagine, with the attack on Parler, the attack on social media, the attack on our infrastructures, you can imagine that anybody that can and anybody that has half a brain doing this right now is fortifying their business's infrastructure, fortifying their digital walls, if you may want to put. We're putting up barricades, we're digging trenches, we're rolling up the drawbridge, we are putting the tar at the top of the walls, because they're coming for all of us, folks. They are coming for all of us. So one thing that I thought about, I wanted to start something that I'm calling Operation Underground Railroad, and that's going to be an interconnected mailing list between patriots and their different networks that they get news from, including us here at the American Reveille, of course. If I'm making it, I'm on it. So first it's going to start as a mailing list, but I am going to add in there a directory, if I can get it to grow, if I can get people to participate, a directory of other sources of reliable news. I'll curate it myself. I'm not just going to have any old tinfoil hat on there, but there might be a couple tinfoil hats if they're known to be right from time to time. So, folks, I really want to establish that. So do me a favor, hit sign up right here. I've already got over 500 of you guys. Over 500 have signed up. I want to beat 1,000 today. I want to try to get it to 5,000 by the time Parler is back online. We don't know now. With what they're doing, we don't know when they're going to launch attacks against our ability to communicate with each other, folks. So we need to think outside the box, and I'm going 1990s, baby. We're going full newsletter, and I'm going to update you personally as much as I can with as much new content as I can, and then you'll get like a wrap-up newsletter every week. But we're going to put it out there free. It's for the Patriots. It's to make sure that we don't lose two-way communication. All right? They want that. They want confusion amongst us while they try to stamp us out, while they try to silence us. And I'm 100% hashtag stop the silence, baby. So sign up right here, www.americanreveille.com. Hit the sign up button. All right? If you're on your mobile phone, there's also a sign up thing right there as well for you, folks. So let's get to it. We're going to get back here. We're going to start with where we left off yesterday when I did the video called We Are Under Attack. And we are. We're currently still under attack. All right? If anything, all right, the only true thing, if you want to look away from some of the conspiracy sounding stuff and just look at what's actually happening, we are literally being silenced by the Democrat Party, working in tandem, working together, working in allegiance, in alliance, in a dirty, disgusting, despicable partnership. All right? Big Tech and the Democrat Party. Big Tech and the Democrat Party together as one to squash your right to be in the United States of America. Folks, this came out from Christina Layla on the Gateway Pundit yesterday. Breaking: Apple suspends Parler from the App Store. All right, citing threats of violence on the platform. This came out around 7:39 p.m. the other night, last night to be exact. On Friday, Apple threatened Parler, the free speech alternative to Twitter, unless they enacted draconian policies demanded by the big tech oligarchs. Because of big tech censorship, Parler is now the fastest growing social media company in the world. You saw, by the way, Parler hit number one on the App Store. Number one on the App Store. And then, bam, big tech worked together with the Democrat Party. Amazon worked with Google, worked with Apple, worked with everybody, and shut Parler out. And then just to be an asshole, sorry for the language, folks, if your kids are in the room. I do apologize. It's not right, children. Don't curse. Try not to. I'm a sailor. I was in the Navy. It's no excuse, but, sometimes it comes out. But listen, you have to understand what they did. Jack Dorsey, he then posts a picture on Twitter of the charts, the Apple charts for the App Store or whatever, and it showed Parler gone and a different app as number one. That was one of the biggest, what a middle finger. What a D-bag. What a D-bag. Seriously. Jack Dorsey looks like a Christmas elf with a nose ring. He needs to get the hell out of here. Somebody needs to arrest him. Seriously. So we got Mr. Matsy, the CEO of Parler, giving them the big FU back. And they're going to take this to court. And I believe they said they should have themselves back up now within a week, maybe by Monday or Tuesday. But again, that's why we're establishing these mailing lists. You see a lot of your different influencers doing the same thing. I'm trying to do it in a different way where I can kind of also make it a listing as well that will be growing and comprehensive to where we can all communicate with each other in case of media blackout. Because if everything blacks out, how are we going to get the news out? How are we going to be informed? How are we going to relay our movements to each other? We have to be able to organize, folks, and we can't let big tech, now that we know they can, we can't let them just shut the power grid off at Jurassic Park and let the T-Rexes out, all right? You know what happens when you let the T-Rexes out. All right? And it's not a lawyer getting eaten in the bathroom. It's not. Not in the real world. In the real world, we all get eaten by the T-Rexes. So let's not let them shut the fence off. Folks, last night, they shut down Apple. All right, well, they didn't shut down Apple. I wish they shut down Apple. Apple shut down Parler. They pulled the switch. They shut them out of their app store. They didn't shut them down all the way. They still worked on the web. They still worked on our apps. But then Amazon joined them and said they're pulling the servers. So John put out, John Matsy put out this statement last night. He said, Apple will be banning Parler until we give up free speech, institute broad and invasive policies like Twitter and Facebook, and we become a surveillance platform by pursuing guilt of those who use Parler before innocence. They claim it's due to violence on the platform. The community disagrees as we hit number one on their store today. The same day, hang Mike Pence, a disgusting violent suggestion, was trending nationally on Twitter. By the way, if somebody cuts that out of there and just makes a thing of me saying that, you're an a-hole. I want you to know that, because that's not what I'm saying. Context, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying this for legal purposes, because in 5 years, someone's going to take me to court and say that I said that. A disgusting, violent suggestion was trending nationally on Twitter, displaying the horrible double standard Apple and their big tech pack apply to the community. And isn't that true, ladies and gentlemen? The left does and says whatever they want. Whatever they want. The right does nothing but get crapped on. I hope you get an umbrella, folks, because the poop is flowing. Apple, a software monopoly, provides no alternatives to installing apps on your phone other than their store. We do not own our phones. Apple simply rents them to us. Apple, Google, and the rest of the anti-competitive pack of big tech tyrants coordinate their moves and work together to stifle competition in the marketplace. More details about our next plans coming soon, as we have many options. All right, so we saw that happen last night. We saw that happen. We said, what's going on? What do we do? All right. Then from that, within a little while, all right, within an hour or two, breaking, Amazon kicks Parler off the web server, shuts platform down until they find new hosts. Now, this is being recorded Sunday morning, guys. This is being recorded Sunday morning. So that means tonight at midnight, Parler is shut down. That is again, I said I'd mention it a few times, that is again why we are establishing the Operation Underground Railroad for all right-minded people, black, white, purple, gay, straight, Latino, ferrets, I don't know. I'm just rattling off names. Whatever you identify as, you are welcome here. If you share right-wing values across the entire spectrum, that's a problem. I'm going to say this, and you're going to listen to me, and you're going to agree with me. All right, folks? You know it. The problem we have on the right is we do not unite together. You've got conservatives, you've got libertarians, you've got centrists, you've got Republicans of all different flavor, moderate Republicans, conservative Republicans. You've got left-wingers that realize that the left is no longer the left, that are now moderates on the right. You've got all these different people, and you all believe a little bit differently. Some people are 100% against abortion. Some people are okay with the morning after pill. Some people are libertarians and say, screw it, legalize weed and let's regulate it. Some people aren't, they're against it. But you know what? We have to put our petty differences aside. If you want to win this, if you want this ideology to survive, if you want a free America for your children, suck it up, swallow it down, and get used to having some different ideas than your friends and neighbors. We have to rise above this to defeat the leftist ideology. All right, folks? I'm sorry for going on a rant and a tantrum there, but it's true. It's absolutely true. All right? So we have to take this. We have to do this Operation Underground Railroad. We have to establish these lines of communication, and we have to work together, regardless of whether social media is there or it isn't. We now know the left has the capability to hit a bomb on our social media and shut it down and screw with us like that. They own the internet. So how are we going to get around them? We're going to go old school. We're going to communicate through email, through newsletter. We'll still use social media. We're still going to put things out. We're going to upload. I'm going to be on YouTube. They'll shut me down at some point. They're coming for me. But we'll be on a bunch of other social media. And I'm going to tell you about the alternate tech when we're done talking about what's happening. But let's get back to this real quick. Amazon kicked them off right after that happened, all right? After Amazon or Apple screwed over Parler, then Amazon went boom and shut down the Velociraptor cage, all right? They shut down the Velociraptor cage, all right, the however you say it. All I'm remembering right now is that guy going, clever girl. And that's where I feel like we're at right now. I feel like we all expected a big win. At least we expected them to talk about the fraud and expose some stuff on the 6th. And then when we saw the infiltration, when we saw Antifa and other groups, even some right-wing extremists go in there and screw it up for everyone, when I thought about the Democrat Party, when I thought about Pence and all them, when I realized they screwed everyone over, that was exactly what I thought about, that moment where the guy, I forgot his name, you know, the Velociraptor wrangler from the original Jurassic Park, is about to get eaten by the damn Velociraptors, and he sees them on both sides, and he goes, clever girl, clever girl. Clever girl, whatever, however he did it. He did it because he realized that he had been trapped and tricked. These tricksters, they're professional con artists. These left-wing, these Democrats, these socialists, these Marxists, these disgusting oppressors, these treasonous oppressors, they've been playing this game for decades. They have the playbook. They know where all of the doors are, they have all of the keys, and they stand in front of all of the pathways. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going up against a force of evil. But collectively, together, we have a much more collected, a much more stronger, a much more unified, a much more deeper, a much more holier, a much more righteous, a much more moral, a much more powerful weapon than they ever will. Because our cause is real, ladies and gentlemen. Their cause is fabricated. And what better cause to stay connected to? That's my Ben Shapiro twist right there. What cause to stay better connected to than getting on the newsletter so you stay connected? That's AmericanReveille.com. Join the newsletter. Back to this. I know I'm going to have so many complaints on this one of people saying, oh, you're going in so many different directions. People hate when I do that. I'm sorry. Some people hate when I do that. A lot of people love it. But I'm being real with you today, all right? This page could come down. You may never see me on YouTube again. That's why we're going to talk about the other social medias, the other different hosting. That's why AmericanReveille.com is going to get its own servers pretty soon. We're going to be able to host our own stuff like InfoWars so they can't ever take us off the web. All right, so this is kind of a frantic video. It's kind of an out there. I said it's not scripted. It's nothing like that. So if we go around in a couple circles down the slide, the slippity slide, down the rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen, Alice in Wonderland, eating mushrooms, getting 20 feet tall. If we do any of that, well, that's kind of crazy. I don't know if we're gonna get 20 feet tall and eat mushrooms together. But anyway. Whatever we do with that, you're going to have to deal with it because this is the real news. All right, folks? I know you're worried. I know things are crazy. Embrace the suck for a bit. It's going to get kind of silly, but we're fighting. We're going to fight for our rights, regardless of what happens. Look, I got my fingers crossed. If Trump pulls off an amazing thing, if all this stuff that Linwood and everything's putting out, if it ends up being real, hell yeah, I'm for it. Give you the thumbs up. I'm applauding. But until that point, all I have is what the president's told us. And what the president's told us is we're in for a fight for the next 4 years, and we've got him having our backs on the outside. But we're going to see what happens. Things are strange right now. I feel it. I feel the eeriness in the air. It does feel like something is going on, like something's happening, like there could be a military operation taking place. It does. I'm going to give you that. But until I see actual factual information, I can't comment on it. I can't really say it is or it isn't. All I can say is I hope it is, but I don't know. Anyway, we're going to finally get to this article right here. Update. Parler CEO John Matzey has responded to the ban and vowed to have the platform back up in a week or sooner. Amazon has kicked Parler off their web hosting service, meaning the platform will be offline until they find a new host. The ban goes into effect tonight, Sunday, midnight, effectively shutting down the platform that conservatives have flocked to since the big tech giants began banning conservatives. Parler has faced what can only be described as a mass-coordinated cyber attack by big tech, first being banned by Apple, then Google within a 24-hour time period. All right, folks, Amazon's employees had been lobbying for the platform to be booted so that they could further silence their political adversaries. That's a big thing we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of the ability of employees to lobby politically inside of a company. What is wrong with you, CEOs? Take control of your company. You got your head so far up your ass, sorry again, with corporate social responsibility nonsense. Listen, I've got an MBA in organizational leadership. I'm a PhD student in business management. I'm on dissertation. I have a 4.0 GPA. I'm not saying that to rub it in your face. I'm saying that to shine my credibility at the left-wing a-holes that may be listening to this. All right? If you own a company and your head is so far up your butt that you make all of your decisions based upon corporate social responsibility, and if you don't know what what that is, go look up. Go to DuckDuckGo. Screw Google. Go to DuckDuckGo. Look up corporate social responsibility. It's a theory that came out back in the day that all companies use now. All right, and they have they look at a thing and they go, oh, if we make this decision to contribute to the social fabric of something, people buy more of our crap. That's the only reason companies support BLM or Antifa or anybody else, because it'll make them a buck in the long run. That's how the bad guys figured out to use capitalism against us. They infiltrated in that way. That was their back door. All right. Anyway, woosah, woosah. Let me get my ear out. What good things. Good things. Whew, woosah. Anyway, Let's move on from this, all right, because there's a little bit more to go. I want you to see what John had to say. He's a stand-up guy, all right? John, I'm one of your Parler users here. Obviously, I don't have a gold badge yet, but give me a little time. We'll get there. But Mr. Matzi, I just want to say that everybody here, all the 15,000 fans of ours on Parler and everybody listening, appreciates what you've done to stand up to censorship. You could have caved. You could have done some cowardice thing like a lot of these companies did, but you did not, and we are loyal to you for that. You've earned the people's loyalty. So stay on the righteous path, my friend. As long as you do the right thing, make the right decisions, do what's true to you in your heart, we will keep prevailing on this side of the fence. Anyway, let's keep looking here. Parler CEO John Matzi has responded to Amazon kicking the platform off the hosting services, calling it a coordinated attack. On Saturday, Amazon kicked Parler off their web hosting service, meaning the platform will be offline until they find a new host. The ban goes into effect Sunday. I keep mentioning that, but I want you to know that if you haven't been paying attention, within the next, I don't know if it's East Coast, West Coast, Pacific, I'm on Pacific time, so for us, in less than 11 hours, in about 10 and a half hours, Parler's going down. In a post on Parler, Matzi wrote that Sunday at midnight, Amazon will be shutting off all of the servers in an attempt to completely remove free speech off the internet. And that's exactly what it is, folks. There is the possibility that Parler will be unavailable on the internet for up to a week as we rebuild from scratch. We prepared for events like this by never relying on Amazon proprietary infrastructure and building bare metal products. So they should be able to get up pretty quick. We will try our best to move to a new provider right now, as we have many competing for our business. However, Amazon, Google, and Apple purposefully did this as a coordinated effort, knowing our options would be limited and knowing this would inflict the most damage, right as President Trump was banned from the tech companies. This is ridiculous, folks. This is censorship. This is the pretext to the gulags. It really is. You have to understand the gravity of the situation we're in right now and why we need to keep speaking up, folks, why we need to join together on these lists, and why we need to make sure we can communicate with each other, why we need to keep putting out our free speech. If you want to write, you contact me. If you can write and you have been wondering what you can do to contribute to the movement, www.americanreveille.com. Go to the contact form, send me a message, or James Lane at AmericanReveille, REVEILLE.com. Send me an email. I'll put you out there. I want to get more writers publishing how they feel about what's going on right now. We could use a blog or two. It doesn't have to just be professional articles. We could do some columns. We could do some stuff depending on your style and what I think you're writing samples. So give me a line there. Send me an email there. All right, folks? We need to affect as many people as possible. All right? We need to let people know what's going on and keep waking people up, regardless of whether we have social media access or not. All right? Matzi concluded, I hope I don't find out that you say it's Mats or something, but I think it's Matzi, concluded that this was a coordinated attack by the tech giants to kill competition in the marketplace. We were too successful, too fast, and you can expect the war on competition and free speech to continue. And don't count us out. You can't count out John Matzi. You can't count out Parler, and you're not going to count out the American Reveille, ladies and gentlemen, because we are here to have your back, stand side by side with the blue-collar, white-knuckle Americans, patriots, for the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. Parler has faced what can only be described, we talked about that, we read that, in an email obtained by BuzzFeed News and Amazon Web Services Trust and Safety Team told Parler Chief Policy Officer Amy Peikoff that the calls for violence propagating across Parler violated its terms of service, and that Amazon is unconvinced that the service's plan to use volunteers to moderate such things will be effective. Of course, They did no such bans, and this is a very important thing to listen to, folks. They did no such bans when Black Lives Matter was planning riots across Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok last year, folks. Plain and simple. That's exactly what happened. All right, we're not going to go through the rest of this. We know what goes on Twitter. We know that they had horrible, disgusting things trending. We know they always have horrible, disgusting things trending. We know that this is a two-way street, rules for thee, but not for me. You know how it goes here. This is an attack. We are the oppressed now. 75 million plus Americans, white, black, white, purple, yellow. Doesn't matter what color you are. I'm just making up colors at this point. What matters is that you're an American patriot with right-wing values of any heritage, of any identity, of any sexual orientation. All of them. You are now the oppressed. You're being oppressed by people pretending to be oppressed. Welcome to a freaking movie. You're being oppressed. Let me say that again. You are being oppressed by people pretending to be oppressed. They are the great pretenders, the great gaslighters, the people accusing you of sleeping with the neighbor while sleeping with the neighbor. That is what the Democrat Party has become. Need more proof? Need more proof to where this is going? Remember John Brennan? Former CIA Director John Brennan calls for Mao-like public humiliation sessions for Trump supporters before they are accepted back into society. And if you haven't heard, all of the different companies and news organizations, the Jake Tappers, the Don Lemon, all these different people calling for things like this, then you need to open your eyes and ears, folks, because bad times are coming if patriots don't open their mouths. John Brennan, folks, former CIA director, he wants this Mao-like punishment, this humiliation, before we're allowed back. That's 75 million of us. See this? This is what they did back then. We're looking at a picture of punishment to Chinese citizens by Mao Zedong, and they're standing on chairs with signs being hung around their neck for the public to gaze upon, so people can see. The signs probably say something like, I shouldn't be such a piece of crap and please forgive me. I don't know what it says, but it's probably horrible, and it's probably not true. All right, this is the former CIA director. All right, John Brennan. Anyone now seeking national redemption, that's you and me, we're supposed to seek redemption. Redemption from the light, ladies and gentlemen. The Lord has placed redemption upon you. That's probably something Raphael Warnock would say. Redemption. From what? From the left? We need to kiss your toes and beg for forgive for what? For being an American who wants this country to be correct and not frickin' tainted with evil like what you want? You want to abort full-term babies? You want to make us conform to your gender ideas? And that's all they are, ideas. They're your concoctions. You want us to conform to your critical race theory? It's not about living together. It's because you can't stand us, so you want to get rid of our ideology. You don't want to deal with it anymore. You just want us to go away. So bow down or fall forever. That's all you're saying to us. When Joe Biden talks about unity, he's only talking about the left. He ain't talking to you and me. He's not talking to you and me. Not at all. Anyone now seeking national redemption by claiming to no longer support Trump must acknowledge how wrong it was to ignore and enable his corrupt, dishonest, and divisive agenda. Total denunciation of a despot's legacy is necessary to eradicate any remaining malignancy. How do you say that? Malignancy. Malignancy. I guess that's how he wants to use big words because he thinks he's smart. That's nice, John Brennan. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. So basically he's saying, you know, it's okay once in a while to erase history. So we need to erase this from history. It's never okay to erase history, dumbass. Never. John Brennan, must be very worried about what Trump has on him. I hope this is right. Every politician, government official, journalist, and talk show host who's ignored and enabled Trump's lies and corruption. Corruption bears the responsibility for the damage he has wrought. Spare us the excuses. You failed the test of citizenship. It's now up to you to try and redeem yourself. When I read that from John Brennan, I feel like he should be tried for treason, ladies and gentlemen. That makes me sick to my stomach. That makes me throw up in the back of my mouth. You know what I think? I think in another time, in another place, a man like that would get tarred and feathered. But in this world, we have to outsmart these people and do it the right way. So, folks, we must fight their ideology with our ideology. This isn't over. We have to create their narrative now. We have to take control of their definitions. Plain and simple. I think Operation Underground Railroad is a good place to start, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. Regardless, these people are very serious. Joe Biden himself is talking like this, and magically he can talk again. Remember, his craziness is gone all of a sudden. Oh, they must have had this up their sleeves for a very long time. In fact, I hear some reports telling me that as early as 2015, 2016, they were talking about this. Somebody was telling me that Obama's former advisor or strategist was possibly putting plans together for something like this. So who knows what's been happening? All I can do is report what comes out on the news and speculate a little bit. I'm not going to BS you. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt. I'm not going to smash my credibility by reporting every little thing. But if I think it's pertinent, I promise you I'll put it out. So in the meantime, like I said, please join the mailing list, subscribe, hit the like button, leave comments, share, wherever you're finding this podcast, wherever you're finding these episodes, wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening, just get it out there. There are plenty of different platforms, and I'm going to tell you about them right now. So check this out. First off, I'm going to tell you again, sign up for the mailing list. You just hit sign up right here. You put your email, your first name, your last name, you do the CAPTCHA. We just put this in, all right? We put this in so that we can weed out the trolls and the bots, all right? We don't want to get these infiltrators in our midst. We're going to vet, we're going to find ways to do that. We're going to keep things encrypted so we can't be hacked and attacked. But when you do it like this and do it through the CAPTCHA, it greatly reduces any issues that we have, all right? See, we even say it right here. Note, it is our responsibility to protect your privacy, and we guarantee that your data will be completely confidential. That's why we put the CAPTCHA in there, folks. We want to make sure it is. So join the newsletter. We're going to be doing it as the Underground Railroad. We're going to put the listings together. We're going to make sure we get all of the information you need to hear while social media is under attack, down or up. All right, we're going to make sure you get what you need to hear. All right, we're going to do it the old school way, and we're going to put a listing together of other reliable news sources as this grows. We've got 500 or more people already on this mailing list, and we're going to keep growing. We can't let the left dictate what we do because they control a lot of the stuff out there on the internet. All right, we can't let them dictate whether we can't have or don't have the ability to communicate with each other just because they control some of these levers. So we need to make other lines of communication. Operation, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Underground Railroad, the right, the oppressed right, from every race, every color, every creed, every denomination, every way of life, people that are on the right coming together to form lines of communication. Operation Underground Railroad. Join the mailing list now. That starts at www.americanreveille.com. Right here, sign up right there. Folks, we're also on Gab. I'm going to tell you about some other places that I found that we're moving to. Now we're going to talk about this. This is my profile here on Gab, American_Reveille. That's American_Reveille. You can go to www.gab.com. All right? Remember, the main website here is www.americanreveille.com, REVEILLE.com. That's where you sign up for the newsletter, sign up for Operation Underground Railroad. Now, after that, you can go to Gab and follow us there. That's www.gab.com. Now, you're going to be experiencing some shaky connectivity to these places. Now, if you're looking overhead, if you want to do an overhead view of kind of what's happening, imagine like a battlefield, like if you were watching Game of Thrones or seeing like how people would move parts around on a map in a war movie so that you would see the movement of where all the troops were, old school style. The big tech, all right, you've got some chips right here, you got some chips right here, this is big tech, this is the Democrat Party, and together as one they launched an attack against Parler, all right, and Parler then had retreats, all right, you had, not retreats necessarily, but well, yeah, retreats, you had customers from Parler not leaving Parler, but finding paths of egress to form their own lines of communication, going backwards, all right, and going to these different platforms, Gab, a couple different ones, Clout, how do you say that again? I have it on here. It's Clout Hub. Clout Hub. I'm going to show you these different ones as we go through here. I really am. But because of that spread, because of them, basically, see right here, it says Gab is under maintenance now. Basically, they're overloaded. All right. The Patriots have overloaded the servers. It's not because they're under attack. It's because they are frantically doing exactly what I'm doing with the American Reveille. We're upgrading our capabilities so that we can handle more Patriots. All right, that's what I'm doing with the mailing list. I had to pay money today to upgrade our different servers and services to make sure that it could handle the amount of traffic that we're all of a sudden getting. And that's the same thing that these guys are doing. So don't worry. Give it some time. They'll be up. They'll be working. But Gab.com, American_Reveille. Then we have Clout Hub. All right, I'm on Clout Hub as well. This is a new one. They seem to be up and working well. We're getting it put together, and we're getting it up to date. I am under there. I'm going to use this as just me to you. All right, it's kind of like Twitter, I've noticed. So Gab is really like Facebook. It has a very good, I like it better than MeWe. MeWe's confusing to me, but Gab feels like Facebook. And I noticed when I went to Gab early on, about a week ago, to scout and see if I wanted to go there and expand our operations, President Trump has a verified account there. So I think something is happening with President Trump and Gab. All right? So Gab is a good one. Clout Hub, where we're at now, I saw Lynn Wood joined and a lot of other people. I think Kevin Sorbo's on here now. Whatever. We need to have alternate places to go. Now, they're having a couple little issues too with connectivity. Don't worry, it'll clear up as they fortify the castle walls, as they upgrade their servers and get things right. So you can go there. That's www.clouthub.com or DuckDuckGo and go and look up Clout Hub or go to the App Store, find it for now. It's called Clout Hub, CLOUTHUB, and it has a very Twitter-like feel. It only has a 300-word cap, so you can't go crazy with the stories on there. It's a very thought-focused one. So I put me as a person on here, the James Lane. So that's me. I'm going to see if I can change the display name. But just @ the James Lane, JAMESLANE. That's where you'll find me there, and that'll be a good direct one-on-one place besides Operation Underground Railroad to find me and other patriots, all right? Now, if you're looking for places to watch, I am still on YouTube, all right? So let me show you the channel right here, the American Reveille on YouTube. All right, I need to change our art and stuff. Trust me, we're all working. There's like more than a dozen of us now working really hard around the clock to try and get all this stuff upgraded. We just have to do our essentials first. All right, so we're here on YouTube still. They have our distribution cut, so only 2,000 subscribers, but more people like to see what we're doing on a daily basis there. Honestly, I've gone viral like 2 or 3 times. I've watched the numbers shoot up thousands, 10,000s, and then all of a sudden, boop, 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 they erase everything. So I know it's cut, but it's still a place to find my videos until they start getting to a small fish and destroy us. They're not going to find me there. They will find me there eventually, and they will get rid of me. All right, that's just what they're doing to all of us conservatives. All right, so do me a favor, go on there. Even if you don't like going on there, just go on there, subscribe, share, do everything you can on there to support it so more people see it and see these other videos I do where I talk about the different media and the different places they can go for alternate tech so that they can still find me. That's what you have to understand. You want to boycott them, but don't boycott them as a tool. You could still post on there, share on there, show people what's going on there that prefer to use it so that you can recruit them over to our side and get them to use these alternate technological technology companies. It's very important that you understand that. It's strategy, folks. It's tactics, folks. You got to use your noggin here. The left is great at this. We need to improve. We need to get better. And I'm giving you some tips on how to do that. Folks, if you don't want to find me here, or if you've already done what I've asked you, and I appreciate that, then make your next move, all right? Make your next move and go to Rumble. And what did I do with Rumble? I had it up. There it is. The American Reveille on Rumble, all right? That's rumble.com/C/American_Reveille. Or you could just go to Rumble and type American Reveille, and you'll find me, Reveille. I appreciate everybody subscribing as much as they can so far. We're up to 914 subscribers here. Get on here. I'll try to get as many videos as I can onto Rumble as well, so we have a backup as on there. Gab also has their own video hosting service, so I should be able to put smaller videos on Gab, and I think the same goes for CloutHub. And we're also going to find a company that's not Amazon to host our servers as well, so that we have our own independent video hosting, just like Alex Jones does with band.video and all that. We'll have our own so that they can never, ever censor us, all right? That's coming in the works, all right? So now if you listen, if you like to listen, all right, it's not just Apple Podcasts you can find me. Now, we are mad at Apple, I get it, but I still need you, if you have Apple, to subscribe on Apple to the American Reveille podcast. Just look up American Reveille podcast. American Reveille. Leave out the and type American Reveille, Reveille podcast on Apple Podcasts. I don't care that we're mad at them. You still have to understand there are patriots out there that don't know what's going on and need to hear this show. So the more that you leave a review and write in a positive review, a 5-star review, and write in a review, the more you share this, the more people see this, the more we move up the rankings on Apple till they find us and get rid of us. They haven't gotten rid of a war room, so hopefully they won't get rid of us. But if you keep doing that and more people see us, then we can wake people up to what's happening and get them over to our side. All right, folks? So understand the tool, all right, the utility in what this does. So get on there and download as many of our episodes as you possibly can. Share as many as you possibly can. Leave a rating. We need you to do all of that. Please, 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 please. We have to get more patriots on board. This is all part of Operation Underground Railroad. Also, folks, if you like to listen, like I said, we're not just on Apple Podcasts. I'm on, I'm on Audible, right? Of all things, we're mad at Amazon. I get it. But if you use Audible, all right, and you know people that do, share it on there so that they can be woken up to what's happening. All right? Let's use their own technology against them. All right? It's not just about boycotting big tech. How can we use big tech against big tech? Here is a way. Share, 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 share. We're on iHeartRadio, folks. iHeartRadio, American Reveille podcast, right here. Same thing. Same thing. All right? Tune in. We're on TuneIn right here. American Reveille podcast. Share. Subscribe, notification bell, comment, share, share, share. I need you to share. This is a grassroots movement. We don't have money in this. We don't have, I have my personal money we've put into this. And thank God for the people who've donated. Your money as well we've put into the company. But we're not Dan Bongino or Dinesh D'Souza or Tim Pool or any of these guys. I appreciate those guys. I respect those guys, but they have big money in this. They've got contracts in this. They have big wallets. We don't. We're all grassroots, so we're depending 100% on you to spread the word. I appreciate you guys sitting through this with me. Bear with me. I know it's dry stuff, but it's information you need to get out and share to the patriots so that they know where they can go for information if our social media blacks out. We know it's possible now. We know they can do it. We know they can nuke our lines of communication, so we have to get the word out, folks. I'm also on Spotify. Right here, American Reveille podcast. Spotify. A lot of people listen to Spotify. Share, share, share. Share, subscribe, share, subscribe. I'm saying it again and again, but I need you to help me. I need your help. I'm asking for your help, patriots. Please get the word out. This is how we're going to survive. Let me show you how these charts work. Look, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. The American Reveille podcast was number 241 last month. Now we're not even on the rankings. But in Panama, apparently, we're number 11. We're the 11th most most popular political podcast in Panama. So that's useless, but hey, it's fun. We're also, in news in general, we're number 72 in Panama. We need to get back on the lists, folks. We need to get back on the USA list. People need to see what we're doing. We have a 4.8 star rating. It was a 5-star rating, but we came down. Look, informative, current and entertaining, sharp, clear, point analysis, current events. This is my go-to source of information. I thank you so much for the great reviews and comments. People really love what we're doing here. And we get you the facts. We're not afraid to make hard calls, all right? So, if you've been listening to us a while, or if you're listening to us for a short period of time, do us that favor. Get the news out, all right? Let's do a quick recap, all right? You find us on Parler. They're shutting down Parler tonight. By the way, thank you so much. We're now 15,000 strong on Parler, and they'll be back up. Make no mistake. But this is woken up what we've probably known deep inside for a long time, that we need alternative lines of communication within the communities of the right. So from Parler being shut down tonight, you're going to have to go find us on Gab. They'll be back up from maintenance. You're going to have to find us on Clout Hub. You're going to have to go to iHeartRadio. You're going to have to go to Audible, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, all over the place. Rumble. We're on Rumble. All right, folks? You can go to all those places, but most importantly, like I said originally, I'm going to say it one last time, and I appreciate you bearing with me, and I thank you so much. Sign up for the newsletter, all right? Sign up for the newsletter, please. I'll say it one more time. Sign up for the newsletter, please. You have to. It's the only place you're going to get the up-to-date information you need, and then the connections to the other sites and places you can go to for reliable news. I'm not just going to put Joe Blow on there. I'm not. I'll take a look, I'll research them, and I'll make sure that they're at least up to the standards of the Gateway Pundit, because I appreciate a lot of those articles, because 90% of the time, Mr. Hoft is right. So I don't care what you think about their credibility. Where are you getting your news from? CNN? Is that your credibility? No. Gateway Pundit's good, and we'll make sure on the newsletter, not only will we update you with news, current events, what's happening with different videos, different productions, and within the company of the American Reveille itself, we'll make sure you have growing listings of where else you can go for information, so you're not left in the dark while they're attacking our social media. Thank you so much for that. That's www.americanreveille.com. Remember, we're updating the website. Things are going to be changing here really soon. I'm very excited. You're really going to love what we're doing. Go to the contact form if you want to contact us about anything. You can leave a message right here. It's right here at www.americanreveille.com, American Reveille Contact. Boom, right in there. You can email me directly, jameslane@americanreveille.com, if you'd like to ask a question, if you have any feedback, if you have a skill set you can contribute to us, if you'd like to talk to us about a donation or sending a gift, we'd appreciate that too. We accept everything. We're a growing company, grassroots. We don't really have a lot of money in the pocket, so anything helps. So speaking of that, if you really want to help out right now while we're under attack and in desperate need for financial resources to actually fortify the company and make sure the left can't shut us down, head over to the donate tab, all right? AmericanReveille.com, American Tac Reveille Tac Donate, all right? Right here. You can give us Bitcoin. We got a code on the bottom or a barcode right here, or you can donate. Hit the donate button. I know a lot of you are into Bitcoin. It's not going to hurt you to give us a little Bitcoin. We can use that for technology upgrades in the company. It really, really helps. If not, you can go hit the donate button. It takes you to PayPal, all right? We have a PayPal account that only goes into the American Reveille LLC, only into our business. This doesn't get spent on a steak dinner. This doesn't get spent on lobster, on flip-flops. Doesn't get spent on little tchotchkes for the desk right here. No, it gets spent on making sure this company, this organization can keep getting out the most important information to the patriots, all right? You can give $5, $25, $100, any amount. Give us $1, give us 50 cents, but I appreciate it. I want you to know that it goes right into the American Reveille movement and gets used to spread the word to good patriots like you, to make sure that you guys are armed with the tools you need to keep fighting the left's wicked ideology. Now, folks, remember, don't feel like I'm pressuring you. You don't have to donate. All I ask of you is share, share, share. Get the word out about the American Reveille movement and the good patriots like you. Folks, thank you so much for standing shoulder to shoulder with me, in this fight against these ideologies. I appreciate you trusting me. I appreciate you being with me here. I am not going anywhere. I'm not going to let you down. We will prevail. Have a great weekend.